Greetings, family. I got a video that I'm getting ready to come to you. It's entitled A Somber Song of the 144,000. The Somber Song of 144,000. We just going to share with you some information that we got. It's a video that we got called a lynching, surviving a lynching, ashes to ashes. I was kind of touched by this video. That's why I chose to share it with you today, so that we can kind of look into it, see what this small documentary is about. It's kind of touching. I'm just going to share it with you. I'm going to leave the link of the entire video in the comments section. All right. Our focus scripture is going to be taken from Revelation 14 and verse number 3. Revelation 14 and 3. And it reads, "And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth." So we see that this was a song that nobody can sing, and I often believe that this song has to do with the plight of the enslaved Negro and the many hundreds, even thousands of years that we have suffered down through the ages of time. No other people can sing that song but us. And I believe that this is related to this scripture found in Revelations. But first of all, we're going to share with you from this documentary that I saw that really got my attention. And you can judge for yourself. It's a story about a man's life by the name of Wilford. And we're just going to look at it a little bit and just walk through it. All right, here it goes. Just brief clips of it. I'm going to leave the entire video in the comments section.
Art is a story. I don't know no other way you can say what art is besides it tells a story. I'm telling a story about my life, and it's going to take 50 pictures to do it. I got 8 done. It's going to take 50. I'm putting these pictures on here and they'll never fade away. Never. Never dreamed that I had the talent to become an artist. But my wife kept telling me, "Oh, you can do it. You got talent, Winfred. You can do this and you can." But wives can say them kind of things, But is it true?
Winfred has a true account of how we live, how we survive in the South.
When a patient walks into my room, they expect to have a seat and for me to talk with them about their history, about their journey. I take that information and I use it to help them heal. I need to look at history. And sometimes patients come in and tell you horror stories, but I can't discard it because I need it in order to help that patient to live. I'm a physician, but I'm also an artist. I see myself a little bit of both. Winfred is an artist. We're both from the South, and I had the opportunity to go to one of his art shows, and there he was. He's had a lot of health problems, hypertension, diabetes, prolonged over 40 years of stress, and I think that stress interferes with your ability to sleep. So how many hours of sleep you get a night?
3, 4.
3 or 4 hours?
Mm-hmm.
And that's with the medicine?
Yeah.
Without the medicine, what you get?
Without the medicine, I get nothing.
And this been going on for how long?
About 4 years.
Whenever he do one of those pictures, he gets sick. He have to go to the doctor, and she has to talk to him, and he has to double up on that medicine in order to get some rest.
For you, it's post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
So it traumatizes you again and make you relive what you had gone through.
Exactly.
And the thing is that sometimes acknowledging the history does help some people to heal.
It may help other people. Not me, though. I don't think it does. It's a different kind of art that's healing. My kind is not healing. Do his cap. Do his face. Put it on his ear. Do I put hope in my art? Not much, since everything is done from the past. There's not much hope in it. I can sit down and start thinking in my mind, or go back when I was 5 and 6 years old. I can remember. God gave me a good memory. We lived on a plantation, and that was the early 60s. It don't take long for you to realize that something's wrong with picking cotton every day, all day. You start out on your rows, you can't see the end. You spend all day and you never get to the end of your row. At the time I was 14, I ran away from, not home, but I ran away from the cotton field. So I was doing everything I thought possible to live a different type of life. That's her signal, that she know I'm working. She hear this. And I go through the night, 3 or 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And when she don't hear that, she's down the stairs like a bullet.
The trauma that he's seen and the trouble he has to go to sleep and to rest, I've seen that increase as he get older. The dramatic stuff, that's when you have a problem. But those are the ones he really need to get done. Sometimes he wakes up, completely up, calling whoever it is that's running him. He call him by name. And he'll be saying, stop.
If I don't take my medicine, then I can't sleep with Patsy. Because I'm going through, if I'm dreaming, I may punch Patsy. Let me go back to the scar that I'm carrying. I joined the Civil Rights Movement at 14 years old. When you are part of the movement, you make a name for yourself. And all the white people know you. And they are waiting to get their hands on you. I stayed in jail over a year with no charges. Nothing. So I took a roll of toilet paper, stuck it in the jar, flooded the jail. And when the sheriff came back, he came back and he was going through the nigger thing with me. He kicked me 2 or 3 times. And about the 3rd time he kicked me, I decided I wouldn't let him kick me anymore. Grabbed his legs and I threw him to the ground. And he went for his gun. I took it away from him, and he's begging me not to shoot him. So I said, well, I'm not going to shoot you, but I'm going to lock you up. So I locked him in a cell, and I fled. Went to this house of civil rights workers, I thought. The woman answered the door, and I told her what had happened. She went in the next room and called the police. Next thing I know, every white man in Cuthbert, Georgia, standing out there in the yard. Threw me in the trunk of the car. About a 30-minute ride, and when they opened up the trunk, I saw these ropes hanging from a tree, nooses. A place designed looked like to hang people. But they put the rope up around my feet, pulled me up in the tree. Here comes the deputy sheriff that I locked in the cell, and he's got a knife. And he come up and he grabbed my private parts, and he took his knife and he stuck me. They was gonna castrate me and then hang me and bury me. I was 19 years old, and there I am bleeding like a pig hanging up in the tree, ready to be slaughtered like a hog. And then another white man grabbed his arm and told him, don't do that. So we got better things we can do with this nigga. I took my shirt, rolled it up, put between my legs like that when I was in the trunk of the car, and squeezed my legs together. I saved myself.
Well, that's a portion of what happened. It's very, very heartbreaking. When I saw this video, you know, it kind of did something to me. I'm going to show you a couple of more clips. But that's sort of the song that I'm speaking of, what this individual is telling, his story, what they did to him. He was illegally put in prison, was over a year in there without any charges. And then the man comes in and want to jump him and call him all kind of names. And my question is, who was this woman whose house he went over to, where all the civil rights activists were outside of this house? She's the one that kind of led him into a trap. But anyway, let me show you the next video. And I call this portion Internalizing the Pain.
My mother used to tell me, she said, you cannot internalize the pain. If you internalize that pain, it just chips away at you. In this country, no one really genuinely talk about the people who were lynched. Sometimes they would lynch people. They put them in the water with weights so the family would never see them again. Sometimes they would take the bodies and cut them up and sell the pieces. Sometimes they would take the body after they lynched it and burn it up so the families would not have anything. Those are ones that were recorded. What about the ones that were not recorded? There was close to 3,000 to 4,000 people who were lynched. And a lot of these people never got a funeral. It was often too dangerous for the families to retrieve those bodies. And sometimes there was no bodies to retrieve. It's not just Black history. This is American history.
You don't survive a lynching. Usually when you lynch, you dead. I just happened to be one man that was saved. He'd have hurt me. He'd have kept me from being maybe what I could have been. Yes, it has. It held me back because it's brutal and no one wants to talk about it.
First time I saw you, I was trying to, medically speaking, I was trying to figure out, why does he have these on his hand?
Those are chain gang marks, but one more than the other.
Why this one more than this one?
Because that's my punching hand.
Uh-huh.
I didn't learn to box, I learned to survive.
Working on the highways and byways and wearing.
You hear them moaning their lives away. Then you hear somebody say, well, don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the chain.
Wow. I like the part.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Y'all gonna make me cry when you.
It's a beautiful morning. You got your long johns on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Then I can walk you to Georgia. What you think? You can lean against me.
I'm sorry, lean on you that way.
I got it. Don't you see how I'm a strong Georgia girl?
I see that.
That's right.
I'm giving out.
Well, it's a pretty day to do that on. You picked cotton before?
You know it. We used to pour water in there, but they got hip to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Only thing way more, put a brick in it.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
All right. So this individual has gone through a whole lot, and that's why I named this video the Somber Song of the 144,000. No other people have gone through what we've gone through. Now this whole session, Dr. I believe Shirley is, I believe she's responsible for this video. So we are, my hat's off to her for excellent work that she did. I would also say that they're given a sort of like a closure for many of the people that didn't have funerals, didn't have closure to their families. And she's going to explain that to you in this next clip that we have. Check it out.
Hey, Nathaniel. You know that painting I did with the KKK?
Yeah.
Could you bring it to me in Springfield? I decided to have a funeral for the over 4,000 African Americans who were lynched in the United States to close that chapter and move forward. America has to do the same thing to help heal this country. You'll get some pushback from people. Well, why you want to stir that up? It hasn't been stirred enough. People were saying, that's so depressing. I say, well, if you think this depressing, try hanging from a tree. What can I do? I can't bring them back, but I can give them a prayer. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Dr. Shirley Jackson Whitaker. And the question we ask tonight is, why do we need to?
She's really getting ready to show them what these people missed in their families and the reason why she's doing this. She's trying to bring about a healing to these families. We're going to just move forward. I don't want to take up too much time. Let's check it out a little bit more.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Dr. Shirley Jackson Whitaker. And the question we ask tonight is, why do we need to be here? We need to be here because our country needs to heal. And some bad things happen in this country where Americans tortured other Americans due to the color of their skin. That went on so long in America. What are you going to do about it? Because I remember as a little girl when we went to a funeral and they lowered that casket in the ground, the minister would say, ashes to ashes.
Dust to dust.
A lot of our people never got that. So we're looking back in history so this patient can live. We're looking back in history so this patient can thrive. We're looking back in history so this patient can become very strong. But this patient can only live and get stronger if we're willing to look back. So tonight we start. There's an African proverb that says, you speak my name and I will live forever. So tonight we will speak some names.
My name is Nasir and I'm representing Hamilton.
My name is Mary Turner. I was the 19-year-old pregnant wife of the wonderful Hayes Turner.
My name is Lame Thomas, and I am representing an unnamed Negro.
But when I confronted his murderers, they lynched me and burned my body.
My name's Kaya Bellamy and I'm representing Eugene Azar.
They ripped my unborn baby out of my belly, ensuring his death along with mine.
I am James Howard, and they told me I had a choice. Either I could die with my son, or I could watch him die and live to tell the story. I had no choice. I had my wife and other children to look after, to live for. And as my son cried and begged and pleaded for his life, they bound his hands and feet and forced him into the river. And as I stood, trembling with tears running down my face, watching my son sink to the bottom of the river, never to rise again, never to rise again.
So in unison, whoever you're representing, speak that name.
Now, I can identify with these people because something happened in my family also. It was before I was born, but I remember my mother telling me a story about one of her brothers. Now, I had 4 uncles, and all of them were slain. But this particular story stands out in my mind. One of my uncles that I never met before. She told a story how that there was some white men that shot him in the chest with a double-barrel shotgun. And they took his body and carried it and threw it on the porch and left his body laying out on the porch of my parents' house. And she said she was able to look out and see the body, and he was 2 holes in his chest, big enough to put 2 fists in the holes that was in his chest. So I can identify with this song that these people are singing, this somber song. If you go back far enough, you may have some horror stories in your family history. All right, this is the last clip. it was really touching. This lady, this Dr. Shirley, she did something that really touched my heart, and I thought I'd share it with you. But this is the last clip. I call this the song.
That lynching is on my back and it's dragging me down. Even today, that's been 40-some years ago. And even today now, it's dragging me down. Can't rest, man. I can't rest. I lay in my bed and I can't rest. I'm running for my life every night. Somebody's after me. And I don't know what to do.
I'm mad about what happened. And it didn't seem like it was nobody there to say, hey, this is wrong. Don't do him like that. It hurts me to see him in that kind of pain. That pain is there, and it needs to be erased.
We commit to the ground these bodies and these souls, and let us forever remember and reflect upon the lives that have been nameless and unknown for many years. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
A funeral is a healing for those that are alive, giving respect to those that have departed. I think they wanted to be remembered and to have the rite of passage, the right to move on.
I can't be healed. I don't think I can be healed. I think I'll go to the grave with what I got holding me down and holding me back. Even though those things were done to me years ago, they're still holding me back. Can I send a message? Can I change this? I can't change this world. I know I'm not a big enough man to do that, but I can put a dent in it. But you just keep going and going and going and going. I love you. I wish you could see me now. I wish you could see the work that I'm doing now, Mama. I wish you could be with me now. I hope you up there looking down at your child doing this leather work. I guess, Mama, you one of the reasons that I keep doing it. Yes, you are.
Well, I wanted to share that with you. It's very touching to me. It was very touching to me. And as usual, I do have a few scriptures that I want to share with you. We're going to summarize what we have seen through the scriptures. We're going to look in the book of Revelations. In the book of Revelation, chapter number 14, verse number 1, it says, "And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as a voice of many waters, and as a voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of the harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were the redeemed from among the men, being the firstfruits unto God. And in the mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God." You know, this story about Wilfred is a true story. And it's really a touching story. They tried to destroy this man, and in a way they did destroy him in his mind, took away a lot of his opportunities. And he can't be very, very old, because he said he escaped the cotton patch in the 60s. And he was around 14 years old. So, you know, that's not too far back. That's sort of like in my generation. So this thing is damaging to the people of God, but the people and the perpetrators of this evil have not gotten away. They haven't gotten away with this atrocity that they have perpetrated. The evidence is right before you in the pictures that they showed, were the feet hanging down and the men looking in the camera. The pain that has been inflicted upon us as a people, and I don't think we need to forget about it. We need to commemorate it every now and then and check into it and see exactly what has happened to us. Let's continue in the Word. Let's look at the next scripture found in the book of Revelation, verse number 6. "And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people." So this is our charge. We have been charged to carry this gospel all over the world, to every creature, every nationality. Then it says, "Saying with a loud voice, Fear God, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters." And there followed another angel, saying, "Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations to drink the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So we see that we are in for a change. And the change is due to that song that was being sang by the 144,000 that overcame all the atrocities that have been done against these people. Babylon's going to have to pay for. It's going to start off with the crush of the economy. And the scripture says and notes that this day that's coming upon the earth will be like no other day, no other time in history. So we can just be assured that our trouble and our sorrow and tribulation will be avenged by the Most High. And we as a people must hold out to the end. Let's continue. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So we see that this problem is going to be rectified through the suffering of the people that have perpetrated this evil. So my friend, we must hold on, and we must commemorate those that have suffered, because the Most High haven't forgotten those people. And even some of us have to live through the fallout. Just like I even shared with you the little incidences in my life, and it's really more than that, but that's what I just wanted to share. And quite naturally, those of us that are descendants of the children of Israel, we have something to share. Even if you don't know about it, you do have something in your life, because that is what marks us as being the chosen people of the Most High. So we're going to end on that note. We just thought we'd share this particular story with you. I found it very intriguing, and the reason why many black people can't come up in their spirit, because they're suffering with some of the same problems that this individual Wilfred is suffering from. Their post-traumatic disorders that's happening, things that aftermath of what has happened. So the very thing that I wanted to point out about this whole video is that we know why we had to suffer like that. I didn't hear anything about that in the video, but we know why that problem and that situation fell upon us. And that's why I'm putting this video out and sharing that segment of her story and putting our niche on it. All right, my friend, that's all I have. And we're going to say shalom to you, peace and blessings, and we hope that you all have a glorious day. Peace.